the podcast. To meet the person behind the character. Presented by Teddy and Brian. Tonight's guest,
MajorLeeHung.
on Chatting OOC.
Hello and welcome to Chatting OOC. My name would usually be Teddy and his name was usually Winston.
But since we're chatting OOC, my name's Ryan and his name's Ross.
And for today, we've got MajorLeeHung. Major, what would you like to be called today?
You can also call me Ryan. We'll just confuse it for the day.
Oh
sorry.
no, man, two Ryans.
Confuse it for the day.
Right, who wants to be Ryan 1 and who wants to be Ryan 2?
I'll go Ryan 1 since
Since you're the guest.
football team. No, since our football teams, that's normally what it'd be. It'd be first and second. So
Yeah, that's definitely that's true. Mate, that's true.
I'm not even going to bite. Not even going to bite.
That's loud, right, guys? Catch you later on. So how's things, mate? You all right?
Very good, mate. How we do?
I'm good. Glad to have you on. Glad to have you as a second guest. I'm super
Appreciate it,
excited to
thank
go through some stuff because I think we've got a lot to talk about.
Definitely.
Thanks for coming on, mate. Thanks for
No
coming
problem.
on.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
I know what it's
No
all.
worries, mate, no
So the first question we're going to ask you is, Ryan, what age are you?
26. I almost said 25 or 26.
Oh, 26 now.
Oh.
26.
Just
You've
over
done
a quarter of a
26?
century.
Just over. Mentally, apparently, I'm 84, but physically 26.
Where are you from?
I live just next to Braehead.
Where are you?
Well,
Next to
originally
Braehead.
Yep, next to Braehead. So Glasgow. For him that doesn't know where Braehead is.
Yeah.
Rough.
I know he's kind of
Very
close
rough.
by there because when I came back for holiday, my car was just starting, and he messaged me going, "Are you at Glasgow Airport? I'll come down and help you get it started."
Aye.
I was like, "No, I'm actually at my house."
Didn't mention the part I was going to charge him 50 quid college.
Ah, well, of course, mate. Do you say that afterwards? You go, start up, 50 quid, mate. I'll just stop it again, then. So talk about cars then. What kind of job do you have?
So I've actually got my own business, doing mobile car valeting and detailing.
Nice, man. You hiring?
Okay.
Not at the moment, mate. Not at the moment.
So that right into cars then? Is that your thing?
Very into cars. So I've had. Well, I lost my license. I've had my license taken off me for dangerous driving before. Yep.
Oh.
Yep, bad. I've actually got a wee track car as well, and then I've probably had in the case of what 7-8 years I've been driving. I think I've had the best part of like 20-30 miles easy.
I don't want to lose your license.
I know.
Your garage must be giant, mate.
Yeah. I mean, even if I'll buy a motor and I'll be like, oh, this is the one, I'll keep it, I'll look after this, that, and that, and then next thing, fucking 4 months comes along, I'm like, all right, cool, aye. Just sold that motor and bought another one.
How do you get that line of work?
It's just that I'd been into cars for ages. Since I basically passed my test, I got into cars, and then I was always known as the guy who had a clean car. My pals used to come over and get their cars cleaned, and I actually worked in hotels, and I was a manager in Costa Coffee before I started doing it. And I always was like, I'm going to start my own business, doing something one day, and then it just kind of clicked. I was like, I'm cleaning everybody's cars. I'm paying like for all the products and that in my pocket. I may as well just start charging people. And it's really funny because I started the business up 4 years ago now. Started it up, and then 4 days later, I went to court and lost my license.
Oh, that
So
must have been a gutter, man.
So we started a mobile van business, and then I lose your license, which was
How
like
did
scary
you-
mix.
How did you get around about that if you just started that business?
Literally, I had to hire somebody right off the bat. So I hired one of my mates, and it actually gives you a wee bit of edge because when you start your first business and you start like doing all that kind of stuff, you need to be on the ball with everything. Your advertising, like your social medias, you need to be pushing. So I was having to try to provide for obviously business wise for everything that I just bought and set up because when I started it, I literally had a grand in my bank. I was in debt. I was in big trouble as it was. So I was trying to obviously pay the boys' wage, pay for the like, insurance and everything else, all this stuff I'd bought. I'd bought stuff obviously in tick to try to get it started up. So it was just a case of as soon as you started, you were just like pushing it everywhere. Everywhere. I had my mum, like my wee brother and my mum out around like kind of the Renfrew area, putting cards and everything through people's doors. Facebook was just pushing it on everything, like all the like buy and sell pages. was constantly in all of them, like trying to push as many things as I could. And I eventually for there started getting busy, and ever since that's been us.
Oh, really?
That's pretty cool.
Well,
So would you say like the first couple of months a wee bit rough, and then now you got your kind of client base, and you've always got the same people, or you find you're expanding?
Your first 2 years are your hardest, and everybody says that, and it is true. Your first 2 years are your hardest. If you can get past your first 2 years, it starts to ease up, and then for there you kind of settle. Literally, like I can openly admit, and I say it to people, I say it to customers all the time, I made all my mistakes. I fucked up stuff. I didn't do this right. I maybe made a mess of this, blah, blah. But now it allows me to go, okay, cool. Well, I know where I've made my mistakes with things. And obviously I can sort it for there, you know what I mean? I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. Whilst quite a lot of people get into that, especially around this kind of area, are jumping into it with hundreds of money, throw all this money at it, and then they've not made the mistakes to realise, okay, well, I should have done this right, or maybe should have done that different, or whatever else, you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, that's cool. So what would you say then is the best car that you've dealt with, and the worst car you've dealt with?
The best thing I've ever done, believe it or not, is not a car. It is actually a lorry. I've done.
Right. Okay.
I done a custom lorry for a company called Malcolm's, which you've probably seen the lorries kind of about because they're quite easily one of the biggest companies in Scotland. But they've got a big lorry. It's called Braveheart.
Right.
I'll post some photos of it and you can pop them in. But that's probably the best thing I've done. The worst thing I've probably done was we got called into a job where somebody gets stabbed in the back of a car.
Yeah, oh my god.
It's horrendous. So this woman had bought the car. So basically, it must have been, I don't know what happened, but somewhere along the line, it's went to the police, they've sold it in an auction, and this woman bought the car. And in fact, I've done two that are bad. That was bad in the gory side with blood everywhere. We've done another one.
Wait. So she bought a car in auction that was covered in blood?
Covered. Mate,
what, man? I bet you bought that for a couple of quid.
Oh, it was horrendous.
How does that even work?
I know. Not literally, she bought it, and literally, like the back seats, it was like fucking half leather with like a kind of cloth interior in it, and it was covered. It was rank.
She must be some psycho, man. Knowing that somebody's been stabbed in that, and she went and bought it.
I know.
We've done a taxi driver as well, and somebody had a accident, let's say, in the passenger seat. Let's just say maybe a dodgy curry mixed with a drink or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But it was horrendous. Like, honestly, like, it must have been, I feel sorry for whoever it was because it must have been violent. It was all the way, like, imagine that's the seat, right? It was all the way up the back of the seat, all the way down it and all that. And mainly so, and this is true, and I regret it to this day, but he phoned me and he was like, oh, the car washes are refusing to touch it, this, that, and this. So in my head, I knew I didn't want to touch it, right?
Yeah.
And I went in my head, right, okay, I went, tell you what, I'll do it for blah, blah, blah. So I gave her this big bullshit excuse, like, I'll need to buy a hazmat suit, all this other rubbish. And I was like, I'll do it for 500 quid. And he went, that's great. Book it in. And I was like, oh, no.
You should have been $2,000.
I was like, what have I done?
Should have went far too hard.
Turned up. This was obviously pre-COVID time, so I bought the mask and all that, and I've got the stuff in, and I bought the wee suit and all that, and I've jumped in. Mary goes up to here and all the rest of it. Oh, I couldn't eat for 2 days after it. See the smell. Like, the guy just parked the car up and left it, and it'd been sitting for the best part of like a week while I tried to find somebody to clean it. And by the time I could book it,
no.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
I hate a summer.
No, honestly, horrendous.
Smoke
Like,
coming out of Wendy's.
never again. Never again. It was
Jesus, man.
It was horrendous. Like,
That sounds really, really bad, man.
it was gruesome. It was gruesome. Getting paid after was alright, but before.
But if you're cleaning cars and you're getting into stuff like that, man, that takes some commitment. So that just shows you how much you're investing in it. Do you know what I mean?
That's some people think that like detailing cars and that is all like, oh, go to Lamborghinis and lovely wee Mercedes and that. They don't think shite covered taxis and blood soaked.
It's funny, right? Like, genuinely,
205s.
So I've done Lambos and stuff like that before, and you'll find like the guys that have got Lambos and all that are the ones that want to pay the least. Like, they're wanting a £5 wash for a Lambo. Yeah. And then you've got guys that have got like just your common kind of run of the mill car, and they're wanting like your top kind of valets, and then they pay your tip on top as well. So it just goes to show you that even if they've got money, they're tight bastards. I've got
a 2007 plate Volkswagen Fox with a smashed up front end and a dent in the back. I can't clean that, make them all welcome.
No problem. I told you before, see if you make me a cup of tea and I'm there.
That's it, mate.
That. A cup of tea. Biscuits included, then you might get a wee.
I'll need to check the cupboards. I need to check the cupboards. So what would you say your first car is then?
My first car was actually a Peugeot 206. Bought it for £500 and thought I was back in the Max Power days, so put all this body kit on it, and I look back now, it was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I don't know why I did it.
That's what happens when you're young, but you know.
Horrendous.
You think you're in Fast and the Furious?
Oh, I did. Just honestly horrendous. I look back at it, cringing myself now. I don't know why I did it. Don't know why I done it.
Peugeot's are nice wee cars, but I like Peugeot's.
They are. It's just I ruined it. I just absolutely ruined it. Like,
holes in places that shouldn't have holes and
horrendous.
The hole in the exhaust, so it makes that.
Oh, no, not hole in the exhaust. I bought like a big, massive, like that size kind of Jap can. Like it was. Oh,
what is it? What is it you drive now? What type of car?
I actually just sold my car 15 minutes before I came on this.
Fucking hell.
I had a Mark V Golf GTI, but want to go back to a BMW, so I've just literally sold that. Literally 15 minutes before I came on. There you go.
Sick.
So how long you have your next car for? 4 months?
Probably. Like I'm useless. I've had my van for ages. My van's been on it. I've had my van for a year and a half. That's the longest I've ever kept a motor, I think. But aye.
That's your business, in it. You have to.
You have to. Aye. I don't really want to talk and change that. The van's probably the best thing I've ever owned, to be honest with you. But I'm a nightmare with it. Nightmare.
Do you race cars or anything like
that? Aye. I've got a Clio 172 Cup, and I race up at Knockhill quite a bit.
Do you?
Oh, yep. So it got painted last year. It's See It Baby Blue.
Nice.
It's nice. It's very, very nice. I had an R Clio before that I shared with my mate. He's now got that. That's painted like a kind of Nardo grey. Two has gotten raced quite a bit. It's good fun, but it's definitely a bit deadly sometimes as well.
Is it a hobby, or is it something that you want to like, pursue? Or?
Nah, it's just a hobby, to be honest with you. I've actually ended up buying for my PC. I bought a setup like with VR headset and the kind of steering wheel and all that, which I've been playing quite a bit. So it's more of just a hobby. I wouldn't probably take it serious. There's stupid money to try to get like serious into motor racing, like stupid.
That's a good hobby to have, isn't it? But
it's good. It's fun and
it's expensive, but I'd imagine.
Why? Aye. You know. Aye, definitely. Well, you do a track day, and if you go through a set of tyres, you're paying easily £300 for a set of tyres.
Aye, man.
I mean, aye. Because it's no kind of like normal tyres. So I run 15-inch alloys on the Clio, but even at that, like it's Yokohama. What are they? Yokohama 52s, I think it is. We run 52Rs, which are like kind of race compounds, so they're just like slicks. And aye, it's expensive, very, very expensive.
Guess you're a bit of adrenaline junkie then. You're doing something like that.
Oh, aye.
You've got to be, ain't you?
You've got to be. You've got to like. If you're doing that and you're doing it proper, you've got to have a. As the saying goes in Glasgow, a set of balls about you.
Aye. How fast it go?
Speed wise, it's not fast. It's more into the corners and that. Into the corners, it's a crazy wee car. I've actually got a video of me with a GoPro up at Knockhill. Basically, when you come to Knockhill, there's a kind of bit you go up. It's a hill, funny enough, and you hit a left-hander on a right-hander. But when you hit the left, you just tap it, and then you go into the right, and it sends you straight across the track, and then you need to kind of catch it. And that was 2 years ago now. I came up that, my mate in the passenger seat, and as I went across, we just couldn't catch traction on the track, went onto the curb, and then we hit the ash. So when we hit the stones, it literally just put the car fucking both flat on its. So I caught it, I went up with 2 wheels, I held it, got it back, then I tried to do it on us again, got back on the track, and then in the video, you just see him turn around looking like almost died.
And I'm like, I wish somebody took a photo of that.
I'm just honestly, I'm just sitting screaming, what a save! What a fucking save! Did you see that? It's terrifying.
I can imagine.
Is it like a street track, or is it like a dirt track, or?
No, it's like a proper kind of racetrack. So Knockhill, Scotland's only racetrack, I think. Well, in that sense, anyway. It's obviously like the national sport for kind of national motorsport place for Scotland as well. But if you've never been, I highly recommend just go up for one day. You're like £10 to go in. There's a bit if you go like during the British touring cars.
Yeah,
you can go up there. That's a full weekend. You can camp up there and all that. There's a bar. To have a couple of drinks. The food up there's absolutely lovely as well.
You had me at bar, to be honest.
Do you have to have like your own car or
honestly? No. You can drive up there. Like you can easily take the wee ones up in that. There's a bit you can just park up and you can sit and you can watch your cars go around the track. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You can do kind of like track days as well, where they obviously like, I think they've got Type R's or something up there. That you can go up and you can get a shot in and get a track experience day. But it's something I definitely recommend if you want to do something you like.
I've seen them on like Groupon and stuff like that. Like, oh, go drive like a Lamborghini for the day and up there. Yeah,
it's good.
Definitely
cool. Recommend it. I would say if you're going to do something like that, I wouldn't go on like the Lamborghini ones and that. I'd go to generally like Knock Hill, got their own kind of bit in it. I think you pay like £100, £150 for the day, but they give you a Type R and they actually take you on the track and show you how to drive it and all that. So you get like a proper kind of like proper racing driver. So you get like a Jim Snedden, I think it is, or something like that. He'll take you around. He's a BTC British touring car driver. He'll actually take you around the track, show you how to take it, where to brake, take the corners, all the rest of it, and then you get a couple of laps, go yourself at it. So
that's good.
Fun experience. It's good. It's good.
It's pretty cool. There you go. So, as you know, we're here because we play computer games. We like computer games. That's the reason why we're here, GTA. So the first computer game question I want to ask you is, what was your first console?
First console was a PS2.
A PS2?
PS2.
No SNES, no Sega, no...
My dad had a Sega, but...
Sega's a winning, by the way, man.
But no, my first one was a PS2. That was what my first thing was.
Right, so what was your first game for it?
Couldn't even tell you. Could not tell you. No idea. I want to say Gran Turismo. I want to say Gran Turismo. I think that's what it was, but could not tell you. Can't remember. Cannot remember.
It's probably The Simpsons or something.
Mate,
Simpsons hit and run, man.
My favourite game of all time. Favourite game of all time. Genuinely need to make another one. Simpsons Hit and Run was one of the best games ever to come out. Ever.
Well, it's just a play on Crazy Taxi, isn't it?
It is, but it's just something about it. I think it's because it's the Simpsons in it. Like,
everything Simpsons is brilliant.
If you don't like the Simpsons, then I'm seriously concerned for your mental health. Seriously concerned.
It was alright until about 10 years ago.
No.
And then it got a bit shite.
I love all that shit. I love all that. See like Simpsons and Family Guy and all that. Cause even I hardly watch South Park, but if I was to like sit and just decide to, mate, I'll just throw it on. Like I hardly watch it, but it's one of the ones you can put on. Doesn't matter what episode it is of that. You'll just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm no one for Family Guy. I've never really got into Family Guy, but South Park and that.
South Park, all the kind of ones.
South Park's phenomenal. Phenomenal television, man. The latest ones. If you have a chance to watch the pandemic ones and the post-pandemic, absolutely quality storytelling, like, and it's funny. And they're all long each, so they'll only do like specials now.
Right.
So they're only doing like big specials at the moment, and they're fucking brilliant, man.
I need to get a look at it. I need to get a look. See.
So you were saying obviously that The Sims is your favourite game, but is that your favourite game, or have you got another game that's?
Yeah. I mean, it was always Sims Hit and Run when I was younger, and then obviously when you started to get that stage with the CODs and that started to come out, for me, like Call of Duty wise, the best COD they ever made was World at War. Like,
you're talking about last week, yeah.
Honestly, best COD ever made, World at War, by far.
I like it.
You don't know?
Nah, I said last week as well.
Mate.
I said last week that I never liked it because of the dogs. So,
mate, World at War, you know what it is, but I love like World War II stuff, all that kind of thing. A heavy, like, I don't know what it is. There's just something so fascinating about it.
Mate,
I don't know if that's why. It's brilliant, honestly.
Mate, I'm heavy into the World War II stuff, man. I love all that.
It sounds sad, but it's fucking
class.
Honestly. So obviously, my grandpa fought just for about 2 years in World War II. So when I was younger, I used to always obviously give us all the stories about it all. Like, and I don't know if that's where it came from or what, but I just enjoy even all the movies you get with it and all that. There's one that's on Netflix now that's about the Munich Agreement.
Yeah.
So if you've not seen that, jump on Netflix. Yeah, watch it. Brilliant.
Watch that
brilliant.
later.
So were you like a PS2, PS3, PS4?
No, nope.
No?
I had a PS2, and then all my schoolmates ended up with Xbox 360s. So we all jumped onto that, and then we all jumped onto a PS4.
Feels like I think a lot of people went that way because the PS3 was absolute garbage. Let's be honest.
Aye, it was.
So everybody not jumped at the Xbox 360 because the multiplayer was better and stuff like that. And then
100%.
when the Xbox One came out, the PS4 was a bit cheaper, and everybody just kind of moved back to the PS4.
It's mad, but isn't it? Because you think it would have been all the way about. Like, on PS3, you didn't have to pay for Xbox Live or anything like that. You got that free. Mm-hmm. Well, Xbox 360, you had to pay for that, didn't you?
You paid for it, but it actually worked.
Aye.
Well, PS3's a bit kind of dodgy.
I just think everybody went that way. Everybody seemed to think it, but it's funny because I've got a wee brother. My wee brother's a couple of years younger than us, and he was PS2 as well. But then he went PS3, and now he's on Xbox.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind of weird. He went the exact opposite way than I did, but his friend group all went that way as well. So he's a bit messed up.
A generation thing, innit? It's what you do. It's what your pals do. You what to do. It's
100%.
We had our PS4s when I bought them. I had my PS4 for ages, and then there was a point where I sold my PS4 because I was just in my cars. I wasn't playing games a lot, and then I started to get back into it. Bought a PS4, and then maybe about 6-7 months later, lockdown hit. But no, it must have been longer than that. It must have been about a year, and then obviously lockdown hit. And when lockdown hit, I heavy got back into my gaming, sitting playing Warzone every day with the boys because everybody was no working. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then that was it. We kind of sat and played that, and then came the PC gaming stage.
Oh, that was the next question I was going to ask you. Yep. When did you start PC gaming?
I had my first PC built, would have been November, not last year, but the year before. So I've only had it since 2020, November 2020. And it was basically, if anybody knows, Cousin P, obviously for Scora. Cousin basically got a PC built off his cousin, funny enough. And
cousins.
That is a long family, mate. It just goes on and on and on. You sound like you've got Tourette's and have a stutter when you're trying to say it, but you get it eventually. His cousin basically built this PC for him, and then he was like, "You can get one if you want." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "You know what? I'm going to do it." So I ended up doing it because I seen the games he was playing. He was having fun with it and all that. I got mine built, and then literally a month later, we were on GTARP. That was us.
So how did you find GTARP then?
So it was actually, I'm going to call him by his real name. It was Ussid. So Ussid basically had found it. He went on it. The two had downloaded it. We started kind of getting it. I think just about that point, that was when you're starting to see No Pixel kick off quite a wee bit with different things. They were still 2.0, I think, at the time. You're seeing the videos and you're going like through things like TikTok and all that kind of stuff and seeing it, and it just got us in it, and we started playing it. And then for there, literally, the boys just got hooked. We were still going through kind of lockdown periods at that point as well. So there was times when I wasn't really working as much as what I probably could have been, because obviously everything was kind of shut down. And literally, we were just going on that and just playing, and then started getting more addicted to it.
Did you see somebody like, who caught your eye that got you into it, or was it just a case of we're going to give us a bash to see what it's like? Or?
I think it was just a case of we downloaded it because it was like a modified GTA, and everybody likes GTA. Like everybody at some point will go on and play GTA of some sort. So it was that way with modified GTA, and then we started to actually get in it, and we got our first server that we were in, and it was just a case it just started to hook on. And for there, it just kind of played out. But there was nobody that like really stood out to us to watch. It was just a case of like you'd scroll through TikTok or something, you'd see these videos and you were laughing at them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of how it went.
Where was it you started?
So we started in alternate RP, alternate life. Just as that was starting to kind of get busy, that started to kick off. They held a kind of 64-player base all the time. And there was some nights we were queuing up. They had a restart like every kind of 4 hours. Yeah. And at 8 o'clock, we'd all queue up, bang, to get in. And some of us could be sat there for like an hour and a half waiting to get in, and we'd still do it. We'd just sit and wait, you know what I mean? But that was our first serious kind of RP city. And then that's where like myself and I said all the rest of them kind of started to find a love for RP.
Yeah. So what was your first character's name?
First character was still MajorLeeHung, but he was a Chinese car salesman. Which I think if I'm not gonna lie, I think if I streamed that, I'd probably be taken off of Twitch for it. But
yeah, definitely. There's definitely a TOS there.
There were 100%. The accent was terrible. But basically, there was me, who was obviously Major Lee Hung, and then us at the time played a guy called Habibi.
Okay.
So you can imagine how he was dressed.
Hello, Habibi.
Yep. So it'd be Habibi, come here. We've got car to sell. Obviously, in a Chinese accent. I'm not going to attempt it because I'll probably get us banned by.
I can imagine your missus sitting on the couch like that.
What is he doing? Honestly,
what is he doing, man?
Literally, she's sitting looking over me like, what is this idea about? But we were in there for a good wee bit. They've got a good few pals. RP wise, they were a really good city. They had some really nice kind of good characters in it. And unfortunately, our time kind of ran out there just due to one or two people that turned a bit nasty and salty ways. A couple of things about being Scottish were brought up and all the rest of it, and kind of went for there. So I didn't personally get banned, but a couple of other boys did end up getting a ban from it for different things. And we were like, okay, so we kind of went for a period where we were trying to find out where we were going to go. And then it was one day there was a TikTok that I watched, and it was all these Scottish guys sitting in a roof at Legion with umbrellas. And then they jump off. This must have
been viral, by the way. This must have been major viral.
It did go viral. And literally, I watched it, and I was like, that's class. And then my first, this is truth, right? Don't do it. But it's just a point. My first day in, I get banned.
Right, okay.
I stole a police car as cramps and took them a chase around the place. And then that was back then. I'm 99.9% sure we did, but we had a script in that was for community service back then.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's right.
You're right. So you have to use the letter pick. So what happened was I done my community service, and the police officer came over to start slagging me again, whoever it was. I stole his police car again and took it a chase, and I get banned for it. So don't be a dick like me. Don't get yourself.
Who was it? Who was it that banned you?
Stan. Which must have been bad for Stan to ban you. I must have been fucking really misbehaving, but I. So I ended up serving my 2 or 3 day ban, whatever it was, and then came back in, and then obviously.
Did you go straight for that other server to right into Scora?
Pretty much, we kind of went to 1 or 2 just to kind of see what the script was and if we could find anywhere, and it just wasn't really happening. We were playing RSM more than anything else, and then the boys all kind of moved into Scora, and I joined them, and then for there, that was it. That was us.
So you went from a Chinese car salesman to an 84-year-old grandpa. How did that happen? First of all, how did you get the name Major Lee Hung? And second of all, how did you change from the car salesman to the old man?
So Major Lee Hung came from one of my best mates, Liam, who basically during the height of COVID, we were sitting playing Warzone, and we decided to try to think of funny names for ourselves. And I'm not going to lie, I can't remember what his name was. You need to remind me. But I somehow came up with Major Lee Hung. And we were running about in COD playing just all these different kind of game modes, and I'm running about going, my name's Major Lee Hung, and I'm here today to tell you, my friends, I'm about to kill you with this stupid fucking accent, which is pure ridiculous, and I know it's stupid, but we were doing it, and it was funny, and it was a good laugh, and it just stuck for there. And then when I was trying to think of a name for what I was going to do my streaming and everything else, I kept calling myself Major Lee Hung when I went into the servers. I was like, you know what, fuck it, we'll just call ourselves Major Lee Hung, see if it sticks.
Cool, man.
All right, man.
So how did you get to the grandpa stage then? At what point did you go, you know what, I'm just going to be a right old man and put on this accent or this voice?
You know something, I came into the city and I enjoyed role playing as something different. I enjoyed having some sort of character. And when we first came in, you also had the P family. So you had all these different ones, and it was cousin, and you had 50 and all the rest of it. And all these different ones we kind of made up. But sitting, we're like, who else could we bring in to be funny? And then one day I was just sitting, we're messing about, and Discord call, and I went, do you think it'd be funny if I came in as an old man? So I done it, and it took me a wee while, and then one day I was just running around and somebody said something to me. I went, oh, you be funny. Any more of that, I'm going to stab you. And instead of being oh, sorry, the guy just burst into laughter at me. Pure started laughing. And I was like, okay, we'll just roll with that and see how we get on. And then for there, it just built up, and that was us.
Yeah, I don't think there was any MD role playing as an older guy.
The only person there was
Yaldi,
was about the same time was Yaldi.
Was it?
Yeah.
And literally me and Yaldi, at the height of 2.0 scorer, but it was just kind of at that level where we just had a couple of people in. It wasn't pure kicking off yet, but it was starting to get there. Me and Yaldi used to go just around and cause absolute hell. Just pure carnage.
How do you find doing the voice continuously? You used to it now, or like at the start was it sore the throat? Or?
No, never ever had a problem with it. I'm just able to do it. Like I can switch between accents dead easy, and I can do different accents because when I first came in the city, I was going to try pull off like the whole sing thing until I found out obviously I had Davey singing out there. Yeah, I could do it perfect. So I was going to come in. I was going to like, bro, what's happening here? The name's Davey singing it. There'll be short in the tune. You all know what I'm talking about, Rennet. And then obviously we had, all right, son, listen, we've got obviously old cramps here. And we could just switch to Hector Brocklebank just like that, you know what I mean? Then you've got Hector running about trying to save crime off the streets, and it's quite easy. So literally, I could just switch between accents like that, and I could just.
Is it something you've always done?
I've just always been able to do it. I've always been able to switch between like different ones, so I could go like, you know, in Mother Russia when you get the vodka, it's poured into glass, it actually climbs back up and goes down throat, you know. And like, obviously, like, even just like that, it's just something stupid that comes into my head. I can see it, and it just fucking kind of rolls off the tongue, and that's you. You know what I mean?
Mate, the Gramps one, that sounds so, but that does.
Mate, honestly, I can do it. No issue at all.
I thought you'd be like the first couple of months just drinking hot water and honey just to try and get that throat one, you know.
Like honestly,
I tried to do your accent one time while doing a heist. And I was just like dressed up as you with a mask on type thing, going, right, man, how are you doing that? And then see by the end of it, it's like,
Actually, I don't know what it is. It's just fucking like, it's easy to like switch on you. Like, you can just be literally thought about it. All right, son, right, so what's going to happen is I'm going to go over to your house, right? And if you keep getting rid of me, I'm going to stab you. You're just going to sit there and enjoy it. Because see if you didn't, I swear to God, I'll turn you inside out and make your eyelids slit so you can never close your eyes again. Do you understand, son?
Can I tell you the first time I properly met Gramps in the city? The first time, like, I've obviously seen them kicking about and stuff like that, and we had like a wee kind of alright type thing. But do you remember when you got the USBs for the McDonald's?
Aye.
From the heist?
Aye.
And you took me hostage, and I kept stuttering. And I was like, sorry. And you're like, look, my man, if you don't stop stuttering right now, I'm going to take you this car and slit your bastard throat.
First time I met you was, I think I came to a golf set, and it was you. Was it Yaldi? You and Yaldi in jail. And I came to you. I can't remember what the golf set was all about, but I came to you and I was like, is this his real voice? Because you just didn't, even during the golf set, you just didn't break it, man. I was like, that's class.
I generally, like, if I go to golf set, sometimes like I'll turn up people with alright, Grandad, and I just stick in the voice and do a golf set in the voice. Just stay kiddler with it, and people are like, is that your real voice?
Weird, man, if you were just starting there with your normal voice, you'd be like,
I'll speak to people sometimes, they'll be like, is that your normal voice? And I'm like, I don't actually sound that. I don't smoke 60 fucking still in a day, you know what I mean?
So how long have you been RPing then for?
That's coming up for, in fact, that was past a year now, so probably about a year and 3 months.
I think we're all kind of the same boat, and I think mine's is around about this time as well, about a year.
About a year and 3 months.
Pretty cool. So you enjoyed it then?
I enjoy it. It's good. I've always been one of these ones, like, I don't know why, I always enjoy RPing as a character. Like, see if you finish with voice on or whatever, or like, something about it I enjoy.
Why did you bring the Brocklebank character? What made you do that? Like, what's the backstory of him?
So Brocklebank, for people who don't know, there used to be a radio show called Real Radio in Scotland, which I'm sure you will remember. And there was a guy that used to do prank calls on it, and he'd phone up as Hector Brocklebank, right? And there was one that he'd done, and it's basically phones our newspaper about somebody's deed, right? And he goes, I'm looking to put a wee directory in for somebody's passed. She's dead, she's passed away. And then the woman's like, okay, so what do you want to put in? Pure, like, playing along it. And then he goes, Peter Reid, Peter Heath is deed. Bottle for sale. And I could just do the accent all right. And I was like, right, okay. And then I knew I wanted to go into a fucking PD character. And I made my PD character up. And this was just around the like height of 2.0 when Mouseman and what was a character called? Yep, they were just in that kind of period where they were doing PD quite a lot. And I turned up to Legion with this new character. And I'm talking like this, alright, how you doing, pal? Alright, my name's Hector Brocklebank. But at the time I'm trying to get in and score a PD, so what I was doing was doing Amazon deliveries, alright? So I'd go into Legion and I'd bring your box for your delivery and I'd bring it over to you and be like, here's your delivery.
And I was like, what the fuck is he saying?
It was literally like, honestly, the two of them are there, he's like, I have no idea what you're saying to me. And he slowed down. I was like, all right, cool. So I kind of edited the voice for there. I got to PD, and then for there, that's just been Hector stuck, and it's been a hang since.
Brilliant, man.
Right, man.
How do you find PD? Is obviously you've been best of both worlds,
Aye.
kind of same as banning it last week, but
Aye. It's two different roleplay experiences, but I think because you get experience, like my RP improved mega when I went to the PD because I got to see the other side to it. So now when I roleplay as a crim and as PD, I can obviously kind of do the two, and I know what the kind of script of things is. I think beforehand, like RPing as cramps with the PD was probably not as good as what it is now. But I love all the PD stuff, so I love it. It's brilliant.
What bit of advice would you get somebody who's had a PD character, but yet they only see it for the criminal side of things?
See for me, right, like everybody knows I like a rant, right, and everybody knows I love going on about like different things, and I'm obviously very passionate about RP and score and all the rest of it. But the biggest thing when you RP is you need to, if you want to be good at RP and you want to properly enjoy it, you need to learn to be able to take a loss. And that goes for both sides. And I learned it more when I went into PD. That's what helped me. Literally, that was the case. But aye, it was I'm trying to think how to word it. It was for me learning that loss, like on PD, like when you're on PD, you'll probably lose like 10 times a day, 15 times a day. But if you can improve on that and like obviously learn how to do it, then aye, 110% it helps you. It massively helps you RP.
We kind of touched on that last week about the losing situation. That's why we've started up the Warriors, and that's the whole point of this is just to get the role play. It's not about winning or losing. It's just to enjoy it. That's pretty much what it is about.
That's it. You're happy if you win, but you're also happy if you lose because it's all about having a good time. You know.
Genuinely, I'm Scorer's worst criminal. Like honestly, Cramps is Scorer's worst criminal.
It's Gramps and Brocklebank. They're either blowing up something, falling through a windscreen, falling through a high height. There's always something going on.
Don't even go there about Brocklebank falling through windies, man. I don't know anything about being in hospital. It's Chattown, and you've
made a compilation. I just I've
done one for a stream. In one stream, and I'd crashed 8 times and came out the window. 8 times coming out the window.
To be fair, Teddy goes through the window quite a lot, but he's usually in the passenger seat.
Do you know put that on your TikTok or something?
Put it on TikTok.
I've seen that. I
don't know how the fuck I managed to do it. What makes it worse part, like the other day with Cramps, was in a chase for fucking 2 hours with a PD and a Scooby, and I didn't crash once, and my driving was amazing. And then I go to Hector, and it's just like all things like my fingers go, okay, you're PD now, you're just going to be absolute shit at driving. You know what I mean?
Oh, you changed from keyboard to controller, didn't you?
So I drive with I can drive with my keyboard and mouse as well, but I prefer driving with my controller, just simply because in GTA it lets you control the wheels a lot better.
Yeah. So how do you do radio and stuff?
I've got all keybind, and I've got a set of pedals at my feet as well. So I've got a set of pedals. Literally, by the way, for MD that is listening to this, best thing you can do, £30 off of Amazon, 3 pedals, one for talk, like obviously talking on thingy, one to mute my Discord, and one for just like your radio. So I'll be driving along, even if I was to talk to you in City right now, I'll just press my foot down to talk to you on whatever kind of pedal I need to use. Makes such a difference.
You think you're a drummer? Fuck's sake, man.
I know.
I get that confused, man. Don't stop pressing the wrong pedals, no.
I know.
Honestly, see when you get used to it, it's just like driving a car. You eventually click, you get used to it, and then it's easy. Honestly.
So do you only use one foot, or is it like double-footed?
Nah, both foot. Both foot. Yeah, I can actually like car-wise brake with my left foot as well.
Yeah.
So I literally can. Aye.
Don't even go there. I've just started I've been in it for about a month and a bit now, and it's basically just driving cars all day. It's a hire company I work for. I'm not mentioning them, but it's a hire company I work for. And I've drove obviously automatics, but for a long time I never drove an automatic. The first car I went in, it was an automatic, and now trying to get used to that. Obviously, press my clutch, you know. Right away, what did I do? Fucking man, right through. Oh my god, man. About 4 times I did it.
See that, you go to second gear and it's like, yeah, fuck it. So, Gramps, we'll go back to Gramps for a second. So, Gramps comes in, he starts the P family. What does the P stand for?
Truthfully, it was, if you all know Paul, that obviously was at All Exotics. Paul was the first one to come in the city. We don't know Paul RIL, but we met him in another city, and he actually moved over here because he got banned when we all did Phil, the other city. and he moved here first, and then it just so happened that we moved to this city as well. So it was kind of like potluck. He was already in. He was known as Big P, and that's just where the P family came from. We used the Big P and P, and then that was it. It just kind of ran. So you had Cousin P, Big P, 50P, Suka P, which you can probably... No. Right, so Suka P is our Russian friend who played quite a lot of GTARP with us, but just as we kind of joined Scora, he had to kind of break off it a lot more. But just when Al got his like Kingpin kind of stuff, he was just kind of finishing up in Scora because he was going back to work and all the rest of it, and he was going around the Suka P and he was saying, I am the real Kingpin, you know, I am the real... He is proper Russian, like, so he's got a proper accent and all that. And he's going about and he's fucking role-playing, drinking vodka and all the rest. It's running around screaming, I'm the real Kingpin, take me to this fake Kingpin. I'm going, oh no. Like, literally just, oh, honestly. But that's where it came from.
Now, Small P, or was that after?
No, Small P, not yet. That's after Cousin P or Big P or whatever else decide that they're going to have a win, and then we'll bring a Small P into the world. But
Small P, Mini P.
Mini P, you know what I mean?
PP Junior.
Aye, we've just got a full kind of thing that we can do. That was funny, but because I'm like the one that obviously was the odd one out, because they're all like Big P, Thingy P, and then I, for a point I got called Grandpa P, but it was always Major Lee Hung. Like when you brought the idea out, but Major Lee Hung.
Know what I'm getting mixed up with? Peter Small.
So Peter, that is Big P. So basically what happened was in RP we had like a fallout between the family, right? So you had Shell P and you had Big P. Big P broke away, had to change the identity so that he didn't get killed by the P family, so he changed to Peter Smalls, and then they went and obviously bought over all exotics, and then that's how they ran into all the kind of business with that. So it all tied in quite cool. It was quite a cool RP kind of story with it.
That's right, you're still doing well with that, isn't they?
They just sold it.
Yep.
Sell that, huh?
Yep.
They just sold it. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
Go to the fun. So the P family breaks down. No more P family as far as I'm aware.
That's correct.
People coming and going, people deciding to go away and do their own thing.
Yep.
Then Gramps ends up meeting Davey Singh again.
Yep.
Tell us how that came about.
Basically when Al kind of decided that it was obviously going to be it, Chrissy obviously kind of said to me, listen, you want to do it with us? And I came up with the kind of thing for it, so the whole backstory of how we'd meet in the prison and all that, and I'd meet them, obviously the corrupt cop takes us there and all the rest of it. So that, I don't know if you've seen the scene, but the scene that got obviously made for the whole prison thing, you meet David.
We were standing there. We were still in the jail.
Standing behind you,
We're standing behind you.
Literally, like, that whole scene, we've made that up, and then obviously we've kind of played it out. Gang-wise, we've got hopefully a couple of things, like, by the time this is out, there should be a couple of changes, hopefully, in the stuff that we've done. Obviously, there's kind of been a lot of change in that scenario as we all know, but there'll be hopefully quite a cool couple of kind of ideas coming out. Don't want to give away too much, obviously, I'll make it too meta, but definitely something to keep an eye out for.
So who made up the Eastern Connections? Who made up that name?
Eastern Connection was my idea. And then...
Is that from the movie?
No, I honestly just decided Eastern Connection because of Davey Singh, and I thought it'd be a cool idea, just like the sound of it. And then, obviously, Chrissy started doing the video thing, if you've seen it, and the poster, which everybody was trying to decrypt for like 5 days. Aye. And then
we done that teaser with him in the prison when we first met him.
Aye.
And it was like, oh my god, Davey Singh! They know he's going to backstab us and go run the guns and that, I mean, but...
It all tied in well, but it makes quite good RP scenarios as well. Because I like that, I like RP, it's kind of got a storyline in it. Like, I don't want people going straight into the whole stabbing and killing and all the rest of it. You want like a proper storyline there. So it'd be interesting to see how it plays out.
Going back to that, just that thing in the prison, you were in the meet. So me and Teddy were just standing at the wee gate leaning on the fence. And these guys were standing behind us, but they're all taking photos. They're being lassies, to be honest.
Aye.
They're taking photos saying, they're going to report these and do this and do that. So we kept telling them, listen, beat it, just go away and leave them, let them do their thing. Because we obviously knew the background, the full story, but they were just fucking trying to be arsies at it.
Yeah. They just saw the leaders of the gangs standing there with a police officer handing them guns and like, what's going on here? I was like, get to fuck, mate. And
then, you were leaving and I tried to shout Jerry, but he was too busy and he just continued to walk away. Then the three of them came on up to us and they're like, he's a snitches, end up fighting one of them, kill one of them just as usual walking out, versing on. Brilliant, man. You couldn't have made it any better, honestly. Good, man.
It was good the way like our storyline and your storylines both kind of crossed over.
Aye.
As you're saying about storyline RP, like it's all fun and games going in and going and robbing banks and going robbing evangelicals and stabbing a guy for saying that you got shite trainers on and stuff like that.
Aye.
But that's what we decided when Bravo decided that Al was going to be finishing up. We were like, well, we need to try and make a storyline of this.
Aye.
So that's why we took a week off. Like, me and Ryan both, when we ended up in the jail, well, we just got to take a week off. I went radio silent on playing 5M. Like, make it a wee bit more real, make people wonder what's happening, you know?
Aye.
And it did. It drummed up hype. It drummed up people going, what's going on here? Stick a wee video, this, that, and the other. And then with Davey Singh coming in, and then us standing there when user doing your thing. It worked out well.
So we had to take that wee break just to regroup and think about what our next move was, not because a lot may sound stupid to some people, but like, see after doing all the KP stuff, you're thinking like, well, what else have we got to do here? Because that's pretty much all we knew.
Aye,
the KP thing.
I think the thing is, like, even like talking about breaks in general, like people probably realised it, but I've taken a break for about a month now. I've hardly been in. I've hardly streamed as well. Like, I think I've streamed 4 times this month, because I told myself after Christmas, just give myself a break for it. And then when you come back and you are refreshed and you've got new fresh things to do, and it is good to have a break sometimes away from it and let your mind start to play new tricks for things. And obviously, for you, taking that week break and even 2-3 weeks or whatever it is, when you come back in, you'll be full of fresh ideas and ready to go for something new. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Like, you streamed quite a lot. You know, like you streamed quite a lot when you first started. So that goes on to my next question. When did you start streaming?
I've only been streaming now for 4 months. So
4 months.
Quite recent. I think I started just in October, it was. So about 3 months. And then obviously for this month, I took a wee break just because of real life commitments and obviously just other bits and bobs as well. But from February onwards now, it's going to be a case of trying to go back to at least 3-4 streams a week, hopefully.
So you own that, obviously Teddy's a streamer as well. I've not really delved into that yet, but what is the best parts and the worst parts of it?
Best parts are probably when you start to build your own wee community, I think. It's quite nice seeing people coming in and like coming to support you. I appreciate it massively when you've got these same people that are coming in to see stuff and that. I think the twist to it is, and what I find quite difficult with it is people that come in for the wrong reasons. Like, the minute there's a bit of drama with something, or if there's something that's went wrong or that, like, you suddenly, boom, views go up, everybody's in. Like, I had people coming into my chat during a couple of different periods within Score if there was things going on, like people being banned or leaving or whatever, and they were trying different things. I actually got stream sniped as well, which was the first time it ever happened to me, and I had that guy in my chat spamming stuff, and then all of a sudden they turned up at PD and was screaming stuff at me.
Really? Fucking hell, man.
Yep. So I think that's quite a bad side to it. But as you build it up, like, the one thing for me for Twitch and for anybody that wants to try it or anything like that, don't watch your viewers. Turn your viewer count off, don't look at it, because it shouldn't matter if you've got 2 viewers or 200, you should still stream the same way. And I found that hard at first because when I started, I got very lucky. And I think it was obviously because I was kind of known and scoring all the rest of it. I was quite busy and then I died down and then obviously picked back up. But I went for a period where I was looking at it and if I had 5 viewers, I was like, oh, shit, I'm doing shite, people don't want to watch me. And then if I was at 30 or 40, I'm pure buzzing. And then I kind of sat and realised, all right, cool, that's not how you look at it. You just look at it as a case. It doesn't matter if you've named in the fucking chat, you just keep it the same and just do your kind of material. You know what I mean?
You know, I remember you messaging me about streaming.
Aye.
And I was in the pub and I was like, fucking do it, man. I was streaming. Like, do it. Get on right now. Just fucking do it. You'll be brilliant. You'll be fucking brilliant, mate. And as soon as you started, man, just boom, hit.
Aye.
Done well. And then, yeah, maybe a wee bit of a lull. I think bringing Brocco back into it. Definitely pick that back up. I think a lot of people like to watch the police side of things. 100%.
I find it quite hard, obviously, because like your us as like cousins and all that kind of stuff. They're obviously all my like real life mates. So I was so used to playing with all them, and then they've all kind of left to do their own things. And there was a period where, like in January, that's probably kind of went backed off quite a bit for now as well was I was finding it hard going in the city and actually finding things to do or whatever because I didn't have my mates there. We were in the same group, but obviously kind of taking a break now. I've started coming back in it. I'm enjoying it again, which is good, and I'm looking forward to getting back to kind of streaming.
That was kind of the hardest bit. See, like when I first started streaming, and obviously there was me and Barry, or me and Bravo, and he was Eli, and then he went to the police with Eli, and I was like, I don't really want to do the police. And I was kind of just in there by myself, and I ended up leaving for a while, and then I came back when he got a second character. That's where Al came in there. But then Ryan came in as well. I'm just on here playing with an Allen key, so it's Al's key. Anyway, then once Winston Roberto came in the scene. It's all fun and games being by yourself every once in a while, but end of the day, it's a player-based community. It's like
100%.
You can stand there and talk shit and try and make your own stuff, but there's only so much stuff you can do solo.
Aye, 100%. It's difficult. It is very difficult. I think that's where PD you get quite lucky because as soon as you go into PD, you're kind of tied into all that, and it's not too bad. But literally, like with Cramps, I found it quite hard because my full kind of like gang and all the kind of RP that I had for that, they're just kind of left. So you're kind of trying to go around, and I think it's very difficult because when you're streaming, people like the PD streams because it's constant action. You're constantly going to something. You're constantly meeting new people. Whilst when you do the Crim stuff, it's a lot harder to kind of do that. It's a lot harder. But you get used to it. You kind of start to tie it in. You start to see what's what, and you roll it for there. Yeah.
So we know you like cars. We know you like right into RP. What other hobbies do you have, or what other kind of passions do you have?
If I'm honest with you, it's probably mainly just my cars and my games and stuff. I do like football as well, obviously. Massive Rangers fan. Massive Rangers fan, as we all know. The better side of Glasgow, we all know that. So I was really into my football. Oh no, trust me, we'll see. We'll be fine. This will come out and I'll be sitting absolutely loving life. It'll be great. But I was really into my football before I got into I played football all the way like from wee boy up. I had to chuck it because I really got a nasty knee injury when I was 17. Right, okay. That's how I ended up transitioning from football to cars. But football wise, I was literally like, obviously I played my like Saturday team. I was a West of Scotland player. I played for the Nationals, like at boys club level as well. Definitely not Celtic tap on. None of that. Trust me, none of that in my household. But basically played football all the way up. Played like 1 or 2 professional teams here and there, but I kept getting injured when I was like 15 to 16. And then when I was 17, I picked up a really nasty knee injury, and that was it. My football was just away after that kind of day. Oh, disgusting. Absolutely rank. Look at it. Imagine getting that tattooed on you. Disgusting.
Why didn't I wait till the end of it?
That was been a good chat, guys. She's like,
let's catch that about. So, end of the football then. You a FIFA fan, Pro Evo fan? Do you play the kind of games? FIFA?
I played FIFA quite a lot until I got my PC, and then I've just not really bored with it. I was FIFA daft on PS4. Like, I was playing FIFA all the time. That was my game to go to. But as soon as I got a PC and started to realise there's more games out there, and then that was me. I chucked away for it, so I did.
See, I was thinking about this last week when I was speaking as well. Like, have you any ever delved into Football Manager or anything like that?
I like Football Manager as well. I've got the Xbox kind of pass on this, so I'll play Football Manager now and then, just as a kind of, you know, if you're sitting chilling and you can't be bored RPing or playing like a shooter or anything like that, you just want a kind of chill game, I'll jump on Football Manager. So I do play that sometimes. It's quite fun.
It's a game I've always thought, I want to play it, but I've just never ever got around to playing it.
It's good. It's good.
It's one of those games that if you get into it, like you'll start it at like 6 o'clock and you're like, I'll just play a few games, and the next minute the sun's coming up and you're like, the fuck just happened there?
It's also one of the games like you say you're going to chill out and that, and then you're playing a game and somebody scores against you in the last minute, and I'm sitting screaming, "Fucking why the fuck?" Everyone's going everywhere. You can't do nothing about it. You just
cup final. You put your suit on and that. Get your suit and tie on for the cup final.
Missy's just looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing, idiot?"
FA Cup final.
You don't understand.
Definitely one. So we're also going to ask you, what is on the box? What TV shows, what movies you've been watching lately?
I'm right into The Man in the High Castle just now.
Oh, I've watched that.
That's a Second World War type thing, isn't it?
It's basically what America would be like if the
Nazis won the war.
The Japs won the war.
Is that no like dub? But is it? Am I right in saying that, or is it in English?
No,
English. English.
Is it?
Really, really good on Amazon Prime. Highly recommend it. That's kind of what I've been watching now. I want to watch I keep seeing on TikTok. What's it called? I know I'm going to get it wrong, but it's Sopranos. Is that right?
The Sopranos.
Sopranos,
I think, yeah. So I keep seeing that on TikTok, and I like the whole Italian mobster kind of thing as well. I like all that kind of rubbish. Funny. So I think I'm going to probably start that next once I finish.
That's weird you say that, because see, just last week I put the first episode of that on because I was bored. Put it on, and then I was like, this is actually pretty good. But I never went back to it. But
what's stupid about it, but is like it's not on it's on Amazon Prime, but you need to pay for it. So for like, the first season's like 34 quid or something. I'm like, what? It's for fucking 19.99. What do you mean? I need to pay for it? Like, what?
It's like, to be honest, truthfully, it's the best TV show that's ever been made.
So I need to watch it.
I disagree with that one. Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad's really, really good. Really, really good. Sons of Anarchy was cracking until the end.
Aye.
The Sopranos is a fucking masterpiece. And that and The Wire. If you've never watched The Wire, go watch The Wire.
The Wire's brilliant, man.
I need to get that watch as well.
I think you would like The Wire. It's all about kind of mobs, like American kind of gangster, gang, but it's owned by the police side, and they're tracing the money and all that kind of stuff, and finding out who they're actually paying off, and it's really, really good, man.
That's brilliant, man. Really.
And they like watching all. I think it's mental when you think about it. Like some things have been on, and how recent all that is as well. It's just crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So what's the last movie you watched then?
Oh God, that's a good question. In fact, it was that one I was talking about on Netflix. I need to actually see what that's called. The Edge of War. It's called.
Right, okay.
The Edge of War. So it's basically about the Munich Agreement. It's definitely worth a watch. It's basically
definitely World War II stuff, man. Ain't you?
Why, mega.
World War II daft, eh?
I mean, I'm the same, man. I love it. Honestly, I love all that stuff.
Have you watched that World War II in colour?
No, I have not.
I've seen it.
You watched that?
Mate, you've not watched that? No, mate, you need to watch that.
Like, I know it sounds dead laugh, but I'm not a big TV person normally. Like, my kind of chill will come in and I put YouTube on the PC and watch stupid shit for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
But me and the missus had watched that the other day. But that is interesting, like very, very interesting. It goes into how like all the stuff starts before the war and all that. It's good. There was
one on Netflix, right? This was about 6-7 months ago. I watched it, and I can't even mind the name of it. And I watched it with my wee brother, and I keep trying to remember the name of it. I just, for the life of me, can't remember it. But it was like basically what it was all the soldiers after the war. They went in and they got the footage, like all the death camps and all that. And you seen like all the dead bodies when obviously they were having to remove it. It's no one for hanging on here, but it's. I'll get the name and I'll send you. It's really, really worth a watch, man. And it puts into perspective like how evil they actually were and how bad it actually was.
Yeah,
I'll get the name it and I'll send you because you'll definitely watch that, man. It's definitely.
So I'm going to sleep tonight. I'm going to sleep well tonight. Thinking about dead bodies and that.
Went for a good chat, talking about games.
So, going back to the RP, Brocklebank, Gramps, where do you see the characters going? What's the story looking?
It's difficult because there was a period I went through where I was tempted to perm Gramps. Yeah, because I felt like with the P family kind of dying off and that kind of stuff, I was tempted to perm him and maybe try a new character. And then obviously, when the kind of opportunity came up to do the stuff with Davey, I was like, right, we'll roll with it and kind of see. And I kind of like the idea because I think there's definitely good opportunities for Gramps to do different kind of RP with that. Brocklebank's obviously went through PD ranks quite quickly. He's up at superintendent now. He's still head at RPU. Probably for an RP point of view soon, I'd like to see him kind of go out to RPU and go to that kind of commander role and do all that kind of stuff. But it's quite easy with Brocklebank because you've always just got the kind of RP there to do with stuff. You know what I mean? Like his PD's constant. There's constantly something there. But the cramp side of things, I want to kind of do some interesting stuff with him to do with all the guns and that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what
I
happens.
think you might have used your Sing carbon copy for him.
I know.
You know?
I know. There's opportunities definitely to bring other people in, I think, but I like the idea that I can put different tasks at gangs for different things and do different things with Cramps. We'll see what it ends up like. But
I don't think it'll be the same with it, Gramps.
No.
See, I think I'd struggle with it because no matter what, I'd always want to go back to the voice and even like see see if you just like I could jump on his Cramps, grab my mobility scooter, and I know fine well within half an hour I'm going to get some sort of entertainment out of it. Whether it be I run somebody over and say, oh, sorry, my brakes are stuck, or something stupid like that. The RP opportunities are just so easy. It's just so easy to flow something out. And like when you're interacting with people, it's dead easy to do. So no matter what, it doesn't matter if it's PD, EMS, whatever you're doing, you're going to create a good kind of role play scene with it. So and that's I enjoy that. It's good.
I think that's the thing with you, but and with Gramps and all that. I think people know that you're up for a laugh, and you can take it back. Do you know what I mean? If you dish it out, you can take it back. You know what I mean? So that's quite good.
Yesterday I jumped on and I was on for in fact I tell you, I was on for an hour last night, and in that hour I took a flaky in the middle of the hospital. I had 2 NHS chase me to the roof, and I tried to jump across to a wall that I realised GTA didn't want to let me in because it wasn't actually a wall, just it was there for visual, but it wasn't a ledge to jump on. Yeah, both down. They get elevated and all that, and they're fucking thingy, so they got me in, and I'm like, sorry son, don't worry, half my body's made of metal. I'm like, Terminator, apart from I'm better looking and I don't die. I'm like, all right, cool. So they fixed me, went outside, jumped into my Scooby. 2 minutes later I've got 10 police cars chasing me. Fucking all about the place constant. I'm like, oh god. So easy as that, like for that stupid kind of sense of humour to a chase. I'm sitting out the window and they're trying to smash into me. I'm in the Scooby and I jumped into my big Jeep thing that I've got. So they're smashing into me. I'm going, oh, I'm getting dizzy, stop it. You're spinning me around like a fucking blade here. And you can hear they're trying to keep your seriousness, and you just hear this chuckle coming off the mics. Oh, it's just brilliant. But the more I think about it, I just love Cramps as a character because you can just have so much fun with him. And it doesn't matter what the like RP scenario is, it can be very, very serious and can change him serious to that pure stupid sense of humour where you're doing stupid shit and he gets away with it. It's just brilliant.
I remember we done I can't remember, it was like this. Was it like the alien kind of thing we were after, remember? You got all involved in it.
Yeah.
That was a good laugh, aye.
That was really good.
It's so easy to do that kind of stuff with him. Like, it'll probably be more stuff like that we try to bring in for the kind of gangs where, like, oh, we've got Davey's fucking bad uncle's decided to join us in the city and he's running about going to steal the guns. Go find them. And then 2 minutes later, Cramps vanishes and like, bros, what's happening? Got the guns in the shop and you want to come down and blast you away in it, homies.
Mo's back. Mo's back.
Mo's back as well, exactly. Mo fucking, Jesus Christ, Mo's back, honestly. It's just like, say it again, 2.0, me and fucking Mo kicking about me and Adam. Fucking hell. It's just, oh, carnage. Absolute carnage.
Definitely.
Man,
definitely. So now we're going to get to the most important part of the night.
Go for it. Ready.
The most important part of the night is Ryan's quick fire questions.
Okay.
I'm going to throw some questions at you. Try and answer as soon as possible.
Right, cool. Right.
These are pretty much the same.
I was losing myself off this thing.
But
okay.
why get into the background of people a wee bit more to see what these are like. So, first one, if you're on a desert island with one scorer character, who would it be and why?
Shit. You know what? I'd probably actually go with Mo Singh. Just for the fact I know that even if nobody else is there, the two could probably cause some sort of carnage together. And we could have a laugh at it.
Right, so next one is, what part of a kid's movie completely scared you? And that's going back for your childhood, even up to now.
Matilda with the fucking swinging of the hair.
Aye.
Swinging the hair. That was fucking, aye, definitely.
Right, this is one of the most important ones, especially for Teddy. You really want to know about this one, but toilet paper, over or under?
Over or under? That's in like over or under? Under? Aye. So, aye, no.
No, on you.
On the roll. On the holder.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. I'm looking at myself going, who the fuck was that, mate? Some crazy shit ass. Fair play to them, man. I mean, fucking, there's a bit of getting in there, but eventually you get there, aye, cool.
Class.
Fucking sitting washing your arm and all that.
You're washing elbows, man.
Right, so under, aye.
Under?
You under? Are you probably under?
Aye, probably under, aye, probably under.
There you go.
You're a Rangers fan as well? Jesus
Probably under,
Christ.
definitely. There we go, Polo. Aye, definitely under. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm probably fucking up. I'm I just leave it lying a bit. Literally.
Whatever way it's put on you use.
Exactly, it's fucking, there you go, it's done.
Right, next one is, who do you really know that reminds you a character in Scora in your personal life?
That's a good question. I would say that's a good question. In fact, my mate Liam, I'd probably say, and if I was going to say that the character that probably pure reminds me of him, and people are going to laugh at this, but it's see how John Dar, like height 2.0 John Dar, where he's like,
Yeah.
like it's just my mate Liam.
How are you?
Like John's really good at like kind of changing between all the different wee bits and bobs, and that's what Liam's like. So I'd roll that definitely.
Right, last one. Obviously, we spoke a lot about cars tonight. That's predominantly what it's been about is cars. You're obviously into them much. So, what is your dream car and why?
That is very difficult. That is very, very, very difficult.
Ask him in 4 months' time, it'll change.
Mate, it's changed in the last 2 seconds. I'll try to think about it. Dream car would have to probably be, probably a Ferrari F40.
Ferrari F40?
Need to get a wee picture flung up with that one, Teddy.
Yeah.
That's difficult. I'm not gonna lie. There's so many options. I love BMWs. Like I've heavy got a thing for BMWs. I really, really like them. So I do. It's difficult. It's very difficult. I'd probably. I know this will be me now, but I'd probably say a Ferrari F40.
Ferrari F40.
There's just something beautiful about them that's just aye. If I've got to go spend the money.
Start calling you Bob Gibb.
I know.
Big Ferrari Gibb.
Oh, honestly, that's just beautiful. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably end up owning about 50 cars if I could.
Yeah, I can imagine.
If you can afford one, you could afford it.
Definitely.
Well, mate, that's that round. That's finished, man. Thanks for answering the questions, though.
Yeah, so there's only one more thing to ask you to do, and the last thing to do is plug all your socials.
Cool. Well, it's very, very easy. We keep it nice and short and simple. So, first of all, if you want to come watch us on Twitch, it's easy. It is literally up there, apart from you add RP on at the end of it. It's MajorLeeHungRP. And then we keep it simple as well. And we've got TikTok, and you can follow us over there in MajorLeeHungRP.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan, for coming on, man. It's very much appreciated. It was a good chat.
Appreciate it. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, some fun.
Have a good one.
And hopefully tomorrow.
Oh, I knew you were going to go fat.
Yeah, that's run before you.
I knew it. All right. Just wait. Tomorrow, I'll be measuring them. Big British flags everywhere.
It's not that. Nothing keeps getting flung up in the skinny, because if he's dead, mate, he's not dead.
I'll edit the fuck out this, mate. All right, mate. Thank you so much for coming on, mate. It's very much appreciated.
Have a good one, guys.
Save yourself. See you later.
Yeah.
Right, guys, thank you very much for watching today. Next week's guest is going to be the man himself, the man that runs ScoraNetwork. It is going to be old Chrissy boy. He's going to come on and speak to us with face cam and everything, man, as far as I'm aware. So make sure you stick around for that. Get your comments down below. We like to get questions from the community. Don't ask why you've been banned. And as always, I've been Ross.
I've been Ryan.
And I'll see you in the next one.
Next one.
Bye-bye.